Crawfordsville High School Athletic Complex in this year's 35th Annual Crawfordsville Athenian Invitational. This evening's championship game is between the visiting Central Catholic Knights and your Crawfordsville Athenians. Here are tonight's starting lineups.
All right, we're back again. Crawfordsville High School and the Athenian baseball field. Here are the starting lineups.
Number 22, Scott Lovell. Batting second, the center fielder, number 23, Daniel Roach. Batting third, the first baseman, number 30, Carson Barrett. Batting fourth, the third baseman, number 24, Adam Dienhart. Batting fifth, the shortstop, number 2, A.J. Bourdonnais. Batting sixth, the right fielder, number 13, Carson Kynell. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, number 14, Dakota Skis. Skis will be hitting for catcher, number 17, Ryan Joyce. Batting eighth, the second baseman, number 51, Nick DuBois. And batting ninth, the starting pitcher, number 27, Jacob Benson. The Knights are coached by Mr. Tim Bourdonnais. Now, the starting lineup for your Crawfordsville Athenians. Leading off, the first baseman, number 21, Will Kellerman. Batting second, the second baseman, number 5, Carson Scott. Batting third, the third baseman, number 20, Josh Blackburn. Batting cleanup, the starting pitcher, number 34, Austin Warren. Batting fifth, the center fielder, number 24, Cam Saunders. Batting sixth, the right fielder, number 6, Jake Decker. Batting seventh, the shortstop, number 8, Cale McCarty. Batting eighth, the catcher, number 23, Caleb Coons. And batting ninth, the left fielder, number 29, Andrew Martin. Your Athenians are coached by Mr. John Froge. This evening's umpires are Mr. Mark Maxwell, Mike DuBois, and Darren Haas. Please direct your attention to the American flag located in right field. At this time, the IHSAA and the Crawfordsville Community School Corporation invite you to please stand and remove your caps as we honor the United States of America. Let's play Athenian baseball.
A great sight there, Jeff, as teams line up facing the flag, ready to go on another championship game here. 35th Annual Athenian Invitational Baseball Tournament, and we have the Crawfordsville Athenians tonight moving into the championship game with a 10-0 victory earlier today over Riverside out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And in a kind of back-and-forth battle in the second game today, the Knights out ahead with a good Griffith Ball Club, but Central Catholic coming out on top of that. So we have kind of a rematch situation. This has happened before between the Athenians and Central Catholic.
Oh, yes.
This is Dan Welver along with Jeff Nelson on the camera. Justin Duggar. So we've got everything in line here. Beautiful night. Really, the day was a little bit windy, but fairly comfortable overall. So we can't complain about the weather. some people were saying, Jeff, they wanted it to be as nice as it was a week ago Saturday, which was really a warm day.
Sure.
But this has been pretty doggone good weather.
Well, how's it go, Coach? You can wish in one hand and spit in the other one.
There you go.
See what you get. It stayed dry. That's the most important thing. A year ago this weekend, we for the championship game of this was the 34th tournament. It was invitational. It was cold and rainy between Carmel and Central Catholic. They played in the mud. They literally had standing water on the field trying to get it done.
And that's kind of been the history of this tournament. We've had a lot of bad weather. And so, real good day today.
I'll take dry anytime. Just to note, it was 8-6 Central Catholic. They had a 6-run fourth inning. That's how they got. That's how they picked up the win over Griffith. And then Griffith turned around and just really took advantage of what was left of Riverside pitching.
Yeah, they just ran out of arms.
21 to 3 was that third place game. So it ought to be a lot of fun here. We got two premier teams in the state of Indiana. You've got a couple of coaches who have won a couple of state championships. Hall of Fame coaches. I think they got like 1,450 wins between the two of them. And so when you talk baseball, you mention Crawfordsville and Central Catholic, and you're going to end up with something good. It ought to be a great game here this evening.
Trojan Bourdonnais on the coaching stand. And, we're ready to go here as Scott Lowell steps in. He's playing left field. Number 22 for the Knights. Here's the first pitch right there on the inside corner by Austin Warren. Austin, as we've mentioned this morning, outstanding performance, 5 innings over at Tri-West Thursday. Next pitch fouled back and out of play.
It is 57 degrees. The wind is north.
Dave says it's 57 degrees.
Yeah, that's exactly what I had on mine.
On the computer, that's exactly right. Lovell at the plate scored 1 run, got a single, and scored 1 time in the earlier win this afternoon by Central Catholic.
All right, 0-2 now on the way. Swung on, fouled back into the net. Count remains 0-2.
Couple of notes. We'll get talking about Warren. My goodness, what a great what a great season he's having. 17 innings pitched. This is his 5th start. He's 3-0 on the year.
Yeah, he's maturing as a pitcher.
Yes.
Got the great eye. There's a nice breaking ball over the outside corner. Lowell takes the pitch for a called strike 3. So 1 down.
And Warren finished on some numbers, 10 walks and now 21 strikeouts. So a better than 2-to-1 ratio of walks to Ks for this young man.
All right, that'll bring up Daniel Roach.
Roach scored twice and had a triple in the earlier game.
First pitch called the ball.
Yep, down and out.
Pitch too high, ball 2. Well, with Warren on the mound, we maintain the same batting order, but we do change the defensive set, so we'll give that to you here in just a second. Here's a pitch grounded up the middle over his Cale, and he can't come up with it. Cale McCarty moving to his left. The ball looked like it hit him kind of in the cuff of the glove and skipped on by.
They've caught just a little spike divot out there. They drug the field before the game, but it doesn't take very long with guys running out to take their positions to get just that little spot. A couple grains of agrolime out there will cause a ball to spin, but it ate McCarty up in the wrist.
The first baseman.
So 1 on, 1 out.
Carson Barrett scored one of those big 4th inning runs. He also had a sacrifice fly to drive in a run. So
throw to first, runner back, plenty of time.
Barrett, also one of the big names on that Central Catholic basketball team, Coach Dave Barrett's son.
Here's a swing and a miss. Well, we mentioned, and it is very true, that Cale McCarty has been playing great shortstop. We're going to have to give him an error on that one, Jeff.
No doubt. Absolutely.
That's a play he normally makes.
Judgment always goes by routine effort, and he was coming right up to the ball, and the ball just ate him up, and didn't have a chance to block it. It goes down his knee 6.
Here's the next pitch. That's up and away. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 on, 1 out.
I think I was looking the last 5 or 6 games. Crawfordsville pitching is only, or Crawfordsville and defense is only allowed, I think, 6 hits in 6 games.
So winning formula. Runner going. Here's the pitch. Taking a strike, and he'll be out at – he missed the tag, I guess. Ball was there in plenty of time. And Boy, Cale thought he got him. I would say that probably in that case where the tag, the umpire has a very difficult. In fact, I'd almost say the first base umpire had a better look at it than we did, because we're looking behind the play with the ball in between the baseman and the runner.
Right.
All right, so 1 ball, 2 strike count now. A little bit of a threat here for the Knights. Swung on, popped up. That'll be in play. We got the center fielder coming in under it and has it.
Saunders.
So that's Cam Saunders taking that one away for out number 2.
The cloud cover has come a little bit over the part of the second game this afternoon, and a little bit of the third place game. The sun was out, and the sky was high and blue. It really caused some problems for a couple of outfielders.
Well, the biggest play in the game number 2 today. Here's the pitch taken inside. Number 24, Adam Dienhart.
Yep.
And with, I believe, runner bases loaded, maybe a big fly ball, which the center fielder had to go a long way for. Got it right there and got it to his glove, but dropped it. Here's a pitch on the inside corner. Count evens at 1-1. Anyway, the ball dropped to the ground, and subsequently the Knights were able to get 5 runs in that particular inning.
That would have been the third out of the inning.
Exactly.
With no runs, as it turned out, 5 more runs scored on that play. That was all 6 runs of that inning. They were all unearned, and that turned out.
Credit the Knights. I believe they got maybe 4 hits in a row after the ball was dropped. So there was a lot of good offense to go along with the one little miscue there that really lit up that inning. Here's a swing and a foul.
Dienhart at the plate had one of the hot bats earlier this afternoon. He was 3 for 4 in the afternoon, 3 singles, 2 RBIs, and scored a run.
So a big spot here for the Athenians as we have a 2-out situation. Here's a ball taken for strike 3, so that'll end the inning as Knights had third base stolen on that. They got a good jump from second base.
No hits.
And so
and 1 left.
In the inning for the Knights, there were no runs on no hits and 1 runner left on base, and we go to the bottom half of the inning, no score.
15 pitches for Warren, a little above his average. I know. On the Thursday night in 5 innings of shutout ball, no hit ball at Tri-West, he threw only 45 pitches.
Yeah, hard to be that economic.
That's 3 pitches. That's 3 pitches and out.
Yeah. Well, good start anyway for Warren and the Athenians. I mean, if we pick up that ball at shortstop, he saved a few pitches there. So
Yes. Central Catholic 7-4 on the season. They head out onto the field. They have, they're ranked number 1 in 2A in the coaches poll, and ranked number 2 in another poll, the PBR poll, that is extensively used by a lot of coaches and folks who follow baseball around the state. But at Central Catholic, and you just assume they're going to have a good team. Tim Bourdonnais is a great coach. The one thing that we have heard in the course of today that coach has not been very satisfied with early in this 7-4 season, and they do have 3 conference losses, so they are up against the wall in defending the Hoosier Conference Championship. They've had some problems in the field. That's kind of the rub that we're hearing, is that coach not happy with some of the newer, younger guys still kind of learning their defensive positions.
Yeah, I got a word down there. I think I was sitting between a couple of those Athenian coaches down there.
Could be.
They say, this is not really your typical CC baseball team, and I think that's basically what they were talking about.
Right.
Maybe not as strong on the mound either.
That's the other part of it. My second thought, coach, was just going to be they're not getting, Dienhart is, everybody thought was going to go play college baseball, and instead is now going to go play football at Purdue. But he is their ace. He is their number 1 guy. Got a huge win at Benton Central last week in the conference play, but after him, they're still kind of trying to work out some bugs, work some strength in, work some experience in.
All right, Will Kellerman steps in to lead it off for the Athenians, takes the first pitch down. Third baseman in, toes just on the grass a little bit. Everybody else normal.
Kellerman looking for his first hit today. He went 0 for in the game this earlier today, and he still is one of the top hitters for Crawfordsville, hitting .367.
Yeah, I'm sure Will is not a real happy camper from that standpoint, the way game one today went.
Here's
the ball two. The count goes 2-1.
He got doubled up. He
did.
hit into a and when you can turn a double play fast enough to beat Will Kellerman heading to first base, you've accomplished something.
A one-hopper to the shortstop, but he put the ball on the ground and picked it up and got to the back ground ball right side. This will be close, but he is out by a good long step.
Yep.
So one down here as Will grounds out to second base.
Du Bois played a clean hop off of that. It was, that ball with thick new grass growing out there. When that ball gets to the edge of that grass, it can take all kinds of funky spins. It did not. Du Bois comes up clean and throws him out.
All right, that'll bring up Carson Scott. He, again, at second base. Bunce gets past the pitcher, second baseman to the ball. He'll be late on the throw. Carson Scott, man, he can handle that bat.
Yes, he can.
Been doing it ever since he's a freshman. Varsity baseball as a freshman did the same thing, and doing it now maybe even a bit better and certainly a little bit faster as it gets down the line.
His first at bat in the 10 o'clock game this morning, against Riverside, bunt single, stole second, stole third, scored on an infield hit.
All right, Blackburn at the plate. Josh takes that for a strike over the inside corner, something real soft in there.
Mm-hmm. Blackburn had one hit, a run scored, and 2 RBIs this afternoon.
Throw to first, and Carson Scott back in plenty of time.
Yep. On the season, Blackburn, again, one of the top hitters, 368 on the season, 7 hits, 7 runs batted in, 7 runs scored.
Oh, here's Josh a little bit anxious on that. He's down the count now, 0-2 as he swings at a high pitch.
He was going to hit that 1-5. He was going to hit that eye-high fastball about 300 feet. And it didn't happen.
Let's see if he can adjust here now on the 0-2. This is way up out of the strike zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 on, 1 out. Bottom half of inning number 1.
Scott not looking like he wants to take off yet.
He threw a little fake in, but no, I'm not sure that we'll run this situation.
Benson's not buying it though as he throws over to first base.
Pitch it inside corner, strike 3. Josh not adjusting to the soft stuff there and takes a called third strike for out number 2.
The pitcher, Austin Warren.
And Austin Warren to the plate.
Warren 0 for 3 this morning's game. Did reach base one time, scored a run. He's now hitting .214.
A pitch, swung on line drive center field, right at the center fielder. One hops him, and clean shot there by Austin Warren to center field.
He cleaned up that 0 for 1, that 0 for this afternoon job, didn't he?
He did in a hurry.
That'll bring up Cam Saunders, who swung the big stick earlier today. His first home run of the season, first Athenian home run of the season, his second career home run. It was a dead center field, 375-foot, 3-run blast in the 5th inning.
Well, a chance here to put the Athenians on the board here in the 1st inning. Here's the pitch. Something, again, real. I mean, this stuff, shall I say it, wouldn't break a window pane. I mean,
a thicker window plane for sure.
I mean, when he throws his soft stuff, it is really soft. The 1-0, that one's taken for a strike at the knees. Boy, you got to wait on it. You got to stay back.
Sometimes it takes one time through the batting order to adjust to that really slow stuff. And, boy, the second time through the order, that's when you give the ball a ride.
Here's a fake throw to second base, but Scott back in plenty of time.
Dirties up the white pants.
Scott at second, Warren at first. Shortstop just almost behind Scott, then moves off. Here's a ball popped in the air. That's going to be in play. First baseman coming over. He's under and has it for out number 3. So the Athenians in the end had no runs with 2 hits and 2 runners left on base. So at the end of 1 full inning of play, it's no score. Or, if you please, 0-0.
0-0. 13 pitches for Benson to get through his first trip out to the mound. That pitch just fooled Cam a little bit. I think he was looking for something a little bit harder, faster.
Yeah, he's a little bit out in front.
Got off speed, got underneath it, and lifted it up to the right-hand side. So, but like I said, you were talking about this velocity thing. That as good a hitters as you got, what you see that 65-mile-an-hour fastball. Second time up, you got a little bit better timing on it.
Yeah. Although, you know, actually in game one we saw very low velocity also. And I think we'll hit this stuff.
Oh yeah, I have no doubt about that. Last night I covered Southmont playing against Fountain Central, and FC had a doubleheader, conference doubleheader today. So they were pitching number 6 and number 7. Oh. So it wasn't even their best JV guys,
sure.
and they were 45-50. The one pitcher I swear had an arch, looked like slow pitch softball. Southmont went through the first 9 guys, and then just rocked those guys from that point on. So. We'll see.
Okay, Austin Warren on for his second inning of work here. 35th Annual Athenian Invitational.
Quick meeting.
Looking around here at the crowd, and I can't see all the CC crowd over here, so
they travel well.
Not sure, but I know they bring people.
There'll be a lot of folks. There'll be a lot of folks here from Central Catholic.
We've got a nice contingent here this evening.
Oh,
and,
absolutely. It's a good night for all. You put a coat on, and it's not.
Yeah, you do need to do that, but yes, it's fine. All right, here we go with Bourdonnais coming to the plate. Here's the first pitch, up a little bit too high. Bourdonnais came in, and I guess he
got the save.
Got the save, you'd call, yeah.
Yep, he got 2 outs because the tying run was at the plate, and so he did pick up a real cheap save, but it was a save.
They all count.
That's exactly right, and he also had a couple of base hits.
And A.J. Bourdonnais is only a sophomore, left-handed hitter. Here's the pitch. That's there for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And he can talk strategy at home all he wants to since his dad's the coach.
Blackburn, McCarty, Scott, and Kellerman left to right around your infield. Here's a pitch fouled off, left side. We'll give it a little chase, but down into the left field corner and well out of play.
Too far even for Andrew Martin to go get.
Yeah. Martin in left, Saunders in center, and Decker in right. Behind the plate, the young sophomore catcher, Caleb Coons, and Warren on the mound. Here's the pitch. Strike 3 on the inside, and he knew it.
Oh,
he turned and got the heck out of there.
He was looking for a completely different pitch. I don't know if it was looking for off speed or if he was just looking for something outside. He got busted on the wrist, and it was a done deal.
He is.
Mm-hmm.
He is. I know how to feel.
Well, I tell you, I don't care what level it is. You pitch people hard on their hands.
At this level?
Exactly. Especially at this level. Yes, there's a good fastball. Warren throwing hard.
Yep. Guys who get paid a lot of money to hit the baseball can, practice and get a little bit better at hitting that stuff on the fist.
Well, they do better at pulling a bat in and getting turned. But I tell you what, high school, you won't make it sound too simple, and it's the same in high school softball.
Mm-hmm.
Throw hard in, soft or breaking away.
Yep. Exactly.
Down and away. Here's a fastball just off the corner on the 0-2.
That's a strike only because it was an 0-2 count. This is Carson Kynell at the plate. He got hit by a pitch one time, but that was his only time on the bases this afternoon.
Pitch fouled off the right side. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cannell, the right fielder for Central Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
Waving that stick. Pitch swung on again. Same location on the foul off.
The JV guy chasing the foul ball out there can go get 2. There comes somebody off the bench. I knew that one of the JV players would be heading for the softball complex in a minute.
Once again, the 1-2. Checked his swing. We're going to get a check, and
did not go.
Mr. Maxwell down there at first base. No swing, so we're 2-2. No score here. Central Catholic Knights batting in the top half of inning number 2. Pitch grounded left side. third baseman in, takes it off the chest. He will not have a play. And that'll go as an error on Josh Blackburn. He really allowed himself to kind of get a little bit funny positioning on that one. He right in the way, if you didn't get a glove, it hit him in the chest. And if the ball was hit harder, it comes off your chest, you probably still get the out. But ball not hit that hard.
Well, you let the ball play you, and that's what happened.
Exactly what.
It happened to McCarty in the first inning, and it's happened now to Blackburn here. So Crawfordsville, 2 errors, have put a couple of base runners on, 1 in each at bat.
So number 14 comes to the plate. Skis is a DH.
He's hitting for the catcher, Ryan Joyce.
Yes.
Takes a strike. He had a really, really good day at the plate. He had 2 doubles, 2 runs batted in, and a run scored in the number 7 spot.
All right. Coach running through some signals down at the base. Warren now. Ready to go. A long pause this time, and the pitch breaking ball hangs just a little bit inside or high, probably
maybe up and or down.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, and 1 on. Canal with a very mediocre lead over there. Throw over and back in plenty of time.
Dirty up his uniform too.
Pitch swung on. That time he couldn't hold up. Pitch almost up to the bill of his cap there, but looked good for a while.
Yep. Always hard to lay off that high fastball.
Yeah, it's right there in your eyes. Looks big. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Little larger lead at first base and the throw over, and it's a little closer. Let's put it that way. Well, we haven't mentioned the wind, but I think the wind direction is about the same as what we started out the day with.
Yep, kind of blowing a little out.
Here's the throw over once again.
More throw, yep. But it was picked up. I know Dave mentioned at the start of the broadcast it was like 4 or 5 miles an hour. It's all of that. There's a gust every once in a while that, as the sun is setting, will make you feel a lot colder than 50 degrees.
Here's a fastball. Swung on and missed. Good pitch there. Austin really, this kid can get, 86, 87 miles an hour? And
that's 4 strikeouts now in 2 innings. Du Bois up now. He had a single, scored a run in Central Catholic's win over Griffith. Quick throw.
Du Bois playing second base. Already had 1 fielding opportunity out there, which he did a good job on. I'm more apt to try to steal with 2 outs, I think, Jeff.
Right.
Here's the pitch, not going, line drive, second base. Carson Scott hauls it in for out number 3. So in the inning for the Central Catholic Knights, they had no runs on no hits. There was 1 runner left on and 1 Athenian error. End of 1.5, still no score.
17 pitches in that go-around for Austin Warren, giving him 32 for 2 innings of work. Everybody's available to pitch even a little bit, depending on how the Athenians want to go with it. Cam Saunders picked up 11 strikeouts and went 5 innings this morning, but threw 68 pitches, so he's got up to 12. He's got up to 12 to use to hit that 80 threshold. That means he's got to take a couple days off. Crawfordsville's got back in conference action again next week. They got Western Boone, and certainly going to be a good test as the Stars have. They certainly have a really good number. They got a
good little left-hander.
They got a good number 1, and Western Boone has had Crawfordsville's number for the last 4 or 5 years, whether it's been in the tournament or whether it's been an occasional game in the regular season. So, sure, that's a game that a lot of Athenian coaches and people around the blue and gold horn want to make sure and get.
It's like other teams I could mention. Really, if you look at the history in the last, let's say from 2000 on, it's totally lopsided in the favor of the Athenians as far as head-to-head competition.
Right.
But we're so used to the Athenians winning 20-plus ball games, winning the conference. I absolutely dominated the conference, for years, and obviously winning state championships in 08 and 11. So, we get a defeat. Well, oh, my golly, what's happening?
That's right.
These guys are tough. They're beating us.
Yeah,
As somebody once said, you can't win them all.
Yeah.
Well,
they just beat you once. That's all.
Jake Decker at the plate takes ball 2 up high. Ball off the catcher's glove, and Jake very courteously reaches down, picks it up, hands it to the catcher.
Jake also was 0 in the win over Riverside. He reached on an error and scored and had a couple of ground outs.
This pitch is also going to get away from the catcher, and so Jake up there now with 3 balls and no strikes, so he's going to be looking at one here.
Yep, he's walked 5 times and struck out 5 times on the season. 3-0, 304 hitter.
Here's a fastball for a strike. 3 balls, 1 strike. Yeah, one of our good senior leaders. Jake, really flexible, plays outfield pitches. Here's a ball taken for a strike, and that was a very, very, let's put it this way, lenient call on the strike.
Generous
All
strike.
right. Well,
we'll come up with the right word eventually.
We've got a full count, 3-2. Here's a pitch. Swung on line drive, second baseman right there. That's how we ended the top half of the inning. That's how we start the bottom half of the inning.
If Decker could have gotten it over a little bit fatter part of the barrel of bat, he would have been able to get that over the second baseman. As it was, a little bit down towards the hands, and not a whole lot of velocity and not enough lift.
Right. Cale McCarty to the plate. Cale, of course, our shortstop, and Cale having a nice season.
Yep, well, he had a good game 1 today. He got hit by a pitch in the second and scored, walked and scored in the 6th. So reached base twice out of 3 trips to the plate. Technically, the HBP and the walk didn't count. So officially, he's 0 for 1. But he scored 2 runs. So I'll take that anytime.
Good offense.
Yep.
Pitch taken to right field, right fielder over. He misjudges, but then adjusts and make the catch. And he may have had a little sun on that too, Jeff.
I was mentioning that earlier.
Well,
it's back out now. There's a space between the clouds back behind it.
Kind of a little bit of a double trouble because the ball of right batter will skew toward the right field line, and that's one. Yeah, and I think the sun probably at least made him kind of squint a little bit out there. So 2 down.
Had his glasses on and had to use them. So Caleb Coons up. Again, Caleb picked up 2 hits in game 1 today. Had a single and an RBI in the second inning. Had a double and scored a run. So he brings a 2 for 3 plate appearance today.
Here's pitch taken for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 down. We're in the bottom half of inning number 2. There's no score in this ball game. Championship game here at the Athenian field. Here's the pitch. Swung on, grounded up off the pitcher's leg. Third baseman has it. He throws and gets him, and that's a fortuitous bounce for the Knights on that one. Ball hit pretty hard.
It ends up going 1 to 5 to 3, and it's 3 down for Crawfordsville, and it's just fortunate for Joyce that he was able to get, caught it off the bat. I'm sorry, not Joyce, Benson, that he bounced kind of off his foot rather than coming off his ankle.
Seemed nobody too concerned about injury there, so that's good. So after 2 full innings of play, the line score is 0-0-0 for the Knights, and for your Athenians, it's no runs and 2 hits, but they also had 2 errors. And Jeff, that both teams have brought 8 batters to the plate in the first 2 innings. So
we got a second coach. I did a little research. I got it. One of our good viewers actually kind of watched this game. You told a story about Eddie Fainer and the King in his court,
right?
And about how one of our fans was hit a home run off of him,
Mr. Dick
Baker. I was directed to ask you something about you facing him.
I did
one
face
time,
him. I did
something about a phantom strikeout.
Well, I got 2 at bats.
Okay,
and I think I got 2 foul balls.
Okay,
how's that?
Okay,
but you're right. My second at bat.
Okay,
I get 2 strikes, and the catcher says, no matter what, you're swinging at this one. And it's the one where he windmills the ball into his glove, and the catcher slaps his glove, and the umpire goes strike 3. So I got cheated on that one.
So
not that the end result would have been much different.
So you got called out on strike too, huh?
I did indeed.
Yeah, one of our Crawfordsville guys had that happen up at West Lafayette.
Yes.
In the opening game of the
Yes.
season. So I think it was Cale McCarty was the victim of that one. I don't think it had anything to do with Eddie Fainer. That just ended up being a couple guys in blue really lost track of the count.
And eventually the umpires knew they'd made a mistake, but
the pitcher Jacob Benson.
It didn't get fixed.
All math in baseball is not always done properly.
That's a good point there.
All right, here we go. Hitter number 9 in the Knights lineup is Benson, and he, of course, is the pitcher for the Knights.
He did not play in the first game this afternoon.
Here's a pitch swung on foul back. Count evens, 1 ball, 1 strike.
I can tell you where that ball landed. The ring, ring, ring of the football stadium. All that aluminum back there.
Pitch swung on again, fouled back, this time right toward the press box.
Get the guys ducking up there. Saved by the net.
All right, here's a 1-2. Austin delivers a breaking ball, and Athenian fans wanted that one. Kind of a bit of a moan coming from the left side over here.
Maxie won't get free lunch at any restaurant in town next week now.
All right, here's the 2-2. Swung on, taking to left field. Should be very playable for Martin. He's camping under it and has it for out number 1.
Took that first quick step in and then realized the wind was getting it back on him just a little bit. But a good adjustment. Young player who's getting the first opportunity to start and play a lot of innings.
Yeah.
And playing it. Andrew plays a great outfield, does a nice job out there. Is hitting the ball enough to stay in the batting order.
Pretty good bunter, too.
He's a good bunter, you know what. And just one of those where, you see what these happen with these younger hitters. That they start getting a couple of hits, and the next thing you know, the torrent happens, and they get a bunch of hits.
First pitch taken inside by Scott Lowell. He was a strikeout victim looking in the first inning.
Mm-hmm.
Next pitch wide. Gets away from Coons. No damage. 2 balls, no strike.
Warren works out of the stretch 100% of the time.
Yes.
Interesting,
Well, fairly common in today's
getting a lot more prevalent
baseball, and we even see it, in the big. Particularly, here's a pitch taken for a strike. Go to the bigs, and a lot of the relief pitchers. They're working from the stretch all the time.
Anybody that coming out of the bullpen, I think they're all 100% stretchers now.
2-1. Here's a ball fouled off the left side over to the football area.
That's out onto the turf.
Even now, 2-2.
Another one. Oh, concession stand time.
Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. Left fielder Scott Lowell. Pitch is just a bit high. So it goes full.
7th pitch of this at bat coming, so he's working Warren a little bit into a pitch count. You can hear the noise in the background. The CC guys almost got a little extra caffeine between games or something. They're a noisy bunch down there.
Here's a pitch. Swung on and miss on a high fastball. So for the second time, Lowell goes down swinging.
Yep.
Well, actually, he didn't go down swinging the first time. He took it.
It was a front K and a back K for Lovell.
Daniel Roach.
So 2 down, and that'll bring up Daniel Roach. He's the center fielder.
He hit one to the center field fence this afternoon.
Well, I'll tell you, and I credit the young man for hitting the ball out there, but he was looking at a different kind of pitching when he did that.
Yes. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Yeah.
But if he squares up one of these fastballs, it'll go further.
It'll sail.
The 0-1 right there. Good fastball on the outer part of the plate. 0-2. Austin Warren. A stretch in the pitch. Swung on, fouled back into the screen.
Roach has got a time on it. He's making contact 3 times in a row, but he just can't get around on it quite quick enough.
Well, and that pitch might have been a little bit too good for the pitching coach's liking there. But I mean, he threw it hard. I mean, he had good velocity, but was in a very hittable zone. Well, once again, the 0-2 now. Athenians are coming in, but Mr. Haas behind the plate says, boys, just trot back to your positions because we're going to call that a little bit too low.
0-2 automatic, I think, there. The entire right side of the defense was all headed back to the dugout.
That one's in the dirt. Count evens at 2-2. I tell you what, I maybe I don't say this enough, Jeff, but frankly, people just don't realize how hard it is to umpire. I don't care whether it's behind the plate or on the bases where you just have. Here's a ground ball up the middle. Cale McCarty over, and this time it hits him in the wrist, and so Cale picks up his second error of the ball game, and guess what?
On the same guy.
On the same guy. Yes. So Cale, I don't know, a little bit out of tune out here this evening.
We don't have the defensive stats, but I'll bet you that's about 2 more errors than he had just about all season.
I think you're right. He has done very well. And you know what? Those balls were neither one of them hit hard.
Right.
And he's been doing really well charging the ball. Now that ball over to the left, he goes left, but he needs to come in a little bit harder. Here's a swing and a miss by Barrett.
Yep.
And he flew out to center field the first time. Left-handed hitter. Throw to first, runner back in time.
Barrett will put the ball up. He has put the ball up in his 3 of his 4 at bats this afternoon. It was a fly ball, F7, sack F7, and an E8. So he'll get it up in the air. But
not really turning on the ball, at least according to our scouting report there so far. That ball's up high. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 down. Runner at first now. Both teams having a little bit of a hard time squaring the ball up so far, Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the pitch, the outside corner, strike 2, and 1 ball, 2 strike count now.
Well, the same situation, Coach. You're talking about in the earlier game, both teams saw lower velocity pitching, and now you're seeing these 80, 85ers, it takes a little bit to get used to again.
There he goes, runner's going, and he swings and misses. Hit a high fastball. And it was not the hit and run, by the way.
No runs, no hits.
So,
and 1 left.
In the inning for the Knights, they had no runs on no hits, 1 runner left on, and 1 Athenian error. All right, I was going to check here. I might get somebody from the Athenian softball team to tell me where they're going to play on Monday. At Seeger, that's way over there, and there's always a lot of wind over there, but this wind is going to cause a win, okay? And then you'll be playing Western Boone on Tuesday and Thursday. All right.
Right. And South Vermilion Wednesday.
Wednesday, that's right. You guys got a full week.
4 for 4.
All right. Olivia Reed.
Yep.
She's third baseman, right fielder, pitcher, wherever you need to have her.
Hey, Olivia, is that a little bit of a black eye there of a bump, or is that just your mascara deep? A little bit of a black eye? A bump? No? All right.
All right, here we go.
Thought maybe she got crossways on a bunt sign or something.
Yeah, that wouldn't happen.
Never.
Andrew Martin, the left fielder, leads it off for the Athenians here in the bottom of inning number 3.
Andrew takes up.
I'm going to have to talk to our cameraman. When we talk to young ladies, you put the camera on them.
He says nope.
Here's a pitch taken for a strike. Count evens.
Yeah.
1 ball, 1 strike.
He's not being a cameraman. He's being a producer, too.
He better be a producer. If he isn't, there isn't one. Here's a I think he might have been bunting. Actually, squared the bunt, but takes it way high for ball 2.
Andrew reached on a bunt single earlier today. Bunted another one. And
back to the pitcher the other time. Yeah. Well, here's a high one, and that's 3 balls, 1 strike. Coach Froge running through the signals here. What do you think? You think he's going to be swinging from his heels with his 3-1
yeah.
this year?
How about no, and no?
He's fake bunting. That's what he's doing. It's ball 4 too high. Whoa, my goodness. I do believe that pitch was a little bit high. Coach Froge kind of shaking his head a little bit there on that one. Okay, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch. That's it. Taken for strike 3. And here comes Coach Froge. Here comes Coach Froge. Yeah, that ball was too high. I'm not sure what's going on out there. Well,
The first
Andrew goes down looking. Top of the order.
Yeah,
Will, first time up, grounded out to the second baseman.
I think when I see Andrew's dad later this week, I think I'll tell him.
Fly ball left field. Going to be an easy play.
Andrew was called out on ball 5.
Yes. Yes, I think he was. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I just said it. It is a hard job to umpire, right. And you know what?
The second
a batter misses a strike, and an umpire misses a strike.
That's right.
And sometimes they miss the ball.
That's it. Kellerman hits the first pitch out to left field to continue his a long day. 0 for 6. Nope, sorry, 0 for 5.
5, yeah.
He walked once.
That'll bring up Carson Scott. Carson with a fine drag bunt.
Yep.
And beat it out easily. 2 down now. Here's a check swing, but he didn't get stopped in time. That'll go as strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 down. Athenians looking for base runners. Here's the next pitch, ball. 2-1. Ground ball left side, shortstop. Comes up with a clean lead, good arm to first base, and that'll retire the Athenians here in the 3rd inning. So once again, nothing across. We're looking at we're about ready to call it a pitching duel, Jeff.
It's pretty close.
Will that work?
Pretty close. Yep.
Well, only 2 hits in the ball game. The Athenians do have both of those. Sadly, though, the Athenians have 3 errors on the board, which is unlike what they've been doing in recent ball games.
The bad news is 3 errors. The good news is those 3 errors have not hurt yet.
Yep.
So.
Well, triple goose eggs up there on the line score for the Knights. Your Athenians, no runs on 2 hits and 3 errors, and pitching has been good.
Yes. Warren now has 54 pitches going into this 4th inning, and Benson has thrown 34 pitches to get through his first 11 batters.
Well, game moving right along, obviously. We hope that everybody caught the change in the time and didn't get waiting on us, as we didn't make our 6 o'clock starting time. But as we mentioned, there's a possibility that
well, the third
you got to be flexible on the championship game. That's for sure.
When you come into the 2nd game and the 3rd game of a day and the 4th game of a day, the game for 3rd place turned into a 21-3 affair, and it just took a long time. And Riverside went through about 5 pitchers, and they couldn't. A couple guys couldn't throw a strike, and I know in that last inning, Griffith. Let me just look real quick. In their last at bat, they scored 11 runs on 4 hits. So
they just ran out of arms.
Yeah.
By the way, and you may know this, but I understood that the Riverside team is actually going to be playing over at Heritage Christian on
yes,
Monday.
on Monday. That's exactly right. They are on spring break. They're doing a south trip, much like Crawfordsville has done every year. This year they came to Indiana. They went to the Purdue baseball game last night. I'll kind of go between pitches here.
Okay. After first pitch is down.
Yep. So they went to the Purdue game last night, watched it. They're staying in Lafayette, playing here in 2 games today. Tomorrow the intention was to go to watch Butler play, but that Butler game has been got moved to a doubleheader today because everybody's predicting bad weather tomorrow.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Comes the next
Here's
pitch.
ground ball third. Josh Blackburn up with it on to first base. Will kind of has to step across the runner coming down at him, but makes a grab for out number 1 here. 5-3 put out.
So then to finish up Riverside's schedule, they're looking for something to do tomorrow. So who knows what? Monday they are going to the Motor Speedway. They're going to IMS for a tour, and then they're going to play Heritage Christian. And then on Tuesday they are getting a tour of Victory Field. Of NCAA headquarters, and then going to the Indians afternoon game, and then they're going home on Wednesday.
All right, Bourdonnais, your shortstop for the Knights. Left-handed batter at the plate, takes the first pitch inside, drives him off the plate.
Took a called third strike. First time up.
Yeah, good pitch on the inside corner, and really caught him looking. He knew it. Here's a ball right back at us, Jeff.
Duck.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 down.
Bourdonnais, as I mentioned earlier, walked and had a single. Actually had 2 singles in the earlier game. Scored 1 run.
0-0 ball game as the Knights bat here in the top of the 4th. Here's the pitch. That one's down a little bit. 2 balls, 1 strike. Taken up 3-1. Seen in fans saying, "Hey, that was a strike against us."
Wish.
Yeah. Here's a pitch taken off to the left side. Blackburn going over.
It's going to drift.
But he's going to run out of room as the ball hits in our left field bleachers down there.
Bunch of fans moving out of the way.
Scattered the fans, yeah.
Somebody down there has a dog on a leash too. They're pulling the mud out of the way.
Here's a little history for you, Jeff.
Okay.
Many years ago, especially nighttime at the old fast pitch ball game. By the way, these young ladies in front of me, they don't even know that men used to play fast pitch softball. They think softball is a girls' game. Here's the ball, and again, it's going to be in the same area, and a fan with a half-hearted attempt gets a bare hand on it. But
that's a tough thing.
Wasn't really serious, was he?
Could still leave a bruise, you know.
Yeah, but well, I'll hang on to my story here.
Here we go.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Bourdonnais at the plate. Here's the pitch taken for a called strike at the knees. Nice pitch.
That's the same pitch Bourdonnais took for strike 3 the last time up. So he's got 2 backwards Ks. That is 7 Ks now on the board for Warren.
All right, Canal, the right fielder, stepping in.
Reached on an error.
2 down. Warren delivers a breaking ball that quite a bit outside. Warren ready to go now. This one's right there for a strike. I tell you, I am impressed with Mr. Warren and his command.
He's very efficient. I was just
Thursday and again today.
Yep. A note here as we get the next pitch.
Pitch swung on a miss. Good fastball.
Austin,
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Austin's only thrown a first pitch strike to 7 hitters so far out of about 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 faced, but he still has 7 strikeouts. He's coming back quickly.
Breaker hangs hot. 2-2. Deuce is wild on the board.
Yeah, this afternoon or in this morning in Game 1, Cam Saunders had 11 strikeouts in his innings, 5 innings work, and he ended up with first pitch strike on about 75% of his batters.
Here's a pitch taken to right field, but that's going to go well foul into the corner.
Down into the batting cage. Two and two here.
Carson Cannell, one of the seniors on this Knights ball team. Here's a pitch. Swung on and missed. And he had about a weakest swing as you can have on that. He was totally fooled on that low fastball.
He guessed once, and then he guessed a second time, and then just kind of threw the bat out at it. And that just none of them worked.
No. So 3 up and 3 down for the Knights in the top half of inning number 4, and we remain scoreless after 3 1/2 innings of play. Athenians coming to bat.
15 pitches for Warren in that at bat. 69 now on the game.
Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. Here's an old story.
An old fast pitch story.
Well, yes, it is primarily,
All
although
right.
it could be either one. But over at Milligan Park, and I say Milligan Park because we hadn't had the bad event that happened that took one of our policemen away.
Yes, yes.
And so it was still called Milligan
Of course.
Park.
Yep, yep.
So we're playing Milligan. Well, anyway, as a youngster, I was going over there to those games, and like I said, it was both fast pitch softball, but particularly at night after it got dark, a foul ball like that would go out, and the ring around the ballpark was gone to the nibble because there's some little kid out there taking that ball and he's gone.
Yeah.
And so you could about count on that. When it got dark and the foul ball went out a good ways out there, several in the crowd would be making that call.
There you go, chasing lost foul balls.
All right, bottom half of inning number 4, 3, 4, and 5 coming to the plate. Josh Blackburn swings, grounds at the left side, third baseman over, up with it on to first base, and one quickly down.
The Athenians got a couple of hits in the first inning, looking for anything since.
Yeah, we're just not squaring it up at all. All right, Austin Warren to the plate.
He did have one of those 2 hits in the first inning.
Yes, he did.
Scott had a bunt single. Warren had a
good line drive
up
to
the
center.
middle.
Here's a breaking ball taken for a strike.
Fans can start to hear a little more of that wind in our microphones, too. Wind's blowing just a little harder, and it's getting a little cooler.
The ground ball right side. First baseman has it. Goes down to one knee. Runs to the bag for out number 2. So first baseman unassisted on that. And, boy, not using many pitches here, Jeff.
3 pitches so far.
The center fielder,
Saunders up next.
Saunders.
Got underneath a ball that would have gone a ways if he'd have gotten connected with it, but instead it just popped up with a couple guys on base to end the first inning.
Pitch. Cam takes a strike. Something off speed there.
We were mentioning also earlier, Cam had his first home run of the season in the morning win, a 3-run bomb over the center field fence.
Be a great place for another one right here. Swung on a miss on a breaking ball down out of the zone.
Yep.
And, yeah,
he was thinking the same thing.
Ready to jack one there. So he's down on the count 0-2. The pitch swung on and fouled. Same pitch, maybe up a little more, and Cam able to get a piece of it.
Yep. Again, the Crawfordsville guy's still working on the timing. Benson is working really fast, but he's not bringing a tremendous velocity.
No, he's not going to blow anybody away. Pitch up, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pitch is inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. This one's down, and it's gone to a full count now. So good job, Cam, being patient up there.
Yep. Took a strike, swung at 1, fouled 1 off, first 3 pitches, and now have backed off and has run the count full.
Stretch, pitch. That's strike 3. Cam got caught. He had a little more velocity on that. I wouldn't say one's going to blow you away, but enough to change the timing, and a called strike 3 ends inning number 4. We're 0-0 after 4 full innings of play.
That is Benson's 3rd strikeout. of the ball game, except for the 7 pitches to Cam. That was a 10 pitch at bats. So he's only at 44 pitches. So his count is nowhere to be bothered with. As we mentioned, Warren is 69 pitches going into this top of the 5th inning. So everybody back to conference action next week. Crawfordsville's got a heading to Western Boone after sweeping Tri-West this week. Central Catholic back in Hoosier Conference action also. I know they're not playing Benton Central. They played them twice this week.
Well, we remind our listening and watching fans that our normal policy is to webcast all the home Athenian ball games. And normally we do go to Frankfort. I don't know when we started that tradition, but it's been a long time ago. We go to Frankfort to do that away game. But
is that next Saturday or is it the home game next Saturday?
You know what? You're asking the wrong guy because I didn't do a good job of. Well, I know I looked at it, but I'm not willing to commit myself to my memory on that.
We'll find out soon enough. We'll have somebody watching can text us or drop a note. And Mr. Duggar will be back here in a minute. He'll know for sure. But it's Western Boone on the road, Western Boone home Tuesday and Thursday, and then I believe Frankfort. Although. Or is it next week? Next week is the Saturday before Easter. Maybe there aren't. Maybe there is not a game next
I don't
Saturday.
think it is. Yeah, I really don't think it is.
Okay.
Like I say,
we'll double check.
I'm not going to commit that far down the line.
Yeah, that's right.
We
know Tuesday and Thursday.
Looking at too many, just like you, looking at too many softball, baseball, and track meets here.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Top half, inning number 5. Skis a batter. He is the DH for the catcher, Joyce. First pitch of ball.
Swung out his first trip up. 2 doubles in the afternoon game against Griffith.
Here's a pitch down just a little bit, 2-0.
And the lights have come on. Figured it would be pretty soon. Takes about half an inning for them to get fully powered.
Pitch is outside, 3-0 now.
Warren just overthrew that one. Just threw it too hard, too fast.
There's one that gets away from him. Ball 4. So down at the end of the batting order here, the Knights put the leadoff runner on base.
That's the first time today they've done that, and that is also the first walk issued by Warren. The Knights are still looking for their first hit, but they do have 3 base runners who have reached by way of errors.
Little Conference on the mound.
Yep. Coach Rhett Welliver saw something that he needed to double check on, so he's out for a quick chat.
First pitch, 6 p.m.
Don't know if he saw. Like I said, I kind of thought that Austin kind of overthrew one or two of those pitches.
I think
there.
You're right. Yep.
So, and he's getting, he's at about 73 pitches now, so it's at that spot where you'll start to feel your arm a little bit.
An add-on 45 on Thursday.
Yep,
So he's had a pretty good week at this point, but I think he's capable here of righting the shift.
Sure.
And I think he starts now. Oh, here's a good bunt. Crawls up his arm, but he maintains control and gets the out. A good job there. That could have been bad if that had gotten away from him. A little juggling act there, and gets the out on sacrifice. So DuBois credited with the sack.
That'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Jacob Benson, who flew out to left field. His first trip up, which is his only trip to the plate today.
Okay.
He did not play against Griffith.
So Skis down at second base. Here's a ball fouled at the plate.
That one came off Benson's ankle, and that just can't feel good.
Runner at second base, one of the few runners in scoring position so far in this ball game.
Talk about getting one off the ankle. Steve Hoffman was behind the plate in the third place game. He took a foul ball, came straight back, hit him right in the chest protector. That everybody went for a conference just to give him a couple extra seconds to clear that one up.
Here's a breaking ball. It's wide.
Number 9 hitter here, Benson, top of the order coming up.
Yeah. Here's a shot left field, but foul. Got around quick on that one. Ball was on the inside, and he turned on it quickly. But Warren ahead on the count now. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yep. Long strike.
Chance here to make a pitcher's pitch with this 1 ball, 2 strike count. And here it is. Swung on and missed. Ball into the glove.
Yep.
The runner took off, but he was already out. So out number 2 recorded on a swinging strikeout.
Crawfordsville catcher Caleb Coons comes up with the ball clean and shows it to the umpire, gets the out.
The left fielder.
Out number 2, strikeout number 9 for Warren.
Well, Caleb, I tell you, Caleb Coons has done a wonderful job of catching first-year varsity player and really improving, I think, as we go from game to game.
Yep.
First pitch is a little bit low.
Lovell has a couple of strikeouts to
Yes,
his
he does.
credit.
All right, Warren steps off.
And Lovell steps out. Everybody regroups.
All right, that's
What's
good.
it called? Hit the reset button?
Good baseball. Austin to the plate. This is down. The ball gets away, but hold on to it. Don't want to throw him a run. That'll be a wild pitch as the ball did get into the ground. So runner on down to third base, and real scoring opportunity for the Knights here, albeit they're 2 down.
I think that's the first runner to third
Yes,
base
it is.
for either team.
Yes, it is. Two-0 on the way. This ball's inside. 3 balls, no strikes. Here's a pitch for a strike. 3-1. Austin Warren trying to work out of a jam here. That one's going to be ball 4. So, down to first base. That'll be a first and third situation. We'll
Second walk of the inning, second walk of the game issued by Warren. As we mentioned, 9 strikeouts. So
we'll see how they want to play this. With 2 outs, would they dare run to second base on this one?
I would think they'd be putting Lovell in motion pretty quickly.
You got your number 2 hitter here, Roach. Both times been on base, as we mentioned, by
2 errors,
balls to Cale McCarty he couldn't handle.
Hit it to him again. I'll bet he gets this one.
Well, anyway, we threw to first base there thinking we really would like to hold him close.
There he goes.
There he goes. That's taken for a strike, and he's trying to draw a throw now as he stops. And we're not going to have any of that.
No.
No balls, 1 strike. Daniel Roach, the hitter. He's the center fielder for the Knights. Runners at second and third, 2 down. Warren steps off, and as we did before, the batter steps out.
Try it again.
Yeah.
Sometimes those are just little reset games, and sometimes those are just little mind games that hitters and pitchers like to do to each other.
Warren fires, fouled off, out of play.
Headed to the softball field.
Quickly ahead on the count here now, 0-2. Chance to make a pitcher's pitch, but here's what we got to remember. I mean, you like the ball down maybe, but here's a situation we don't want to give him something that goes to the backstop. Here's a shot to left field, and that's going to bring in 1 and now 2 as the runner rounds third and heads into home. So Central Catholic Knights, with a base hit from Daniel Roach, take the lead 2-0.
And he got an 0-2 pitch that he could hit, which
yes, he did.
Which will not sit well with Crawfordsville. It doesn't sit well with any baseball coaching staff. I helped coach the Legion team a whole bunch of years ago, and I think the maddest I ever saw Dan Taylor, the head coach, was one time, and so we were playing somebody, doesn't matter who, and somebody got an 0-2 really good hit, may have been even an 0-2 home run. He was just so fired up about that. How can you let him hit a pitch like that?
Yeah. Here's the ball fouled out of play. Back to number 3 hitter here, Barrett. Carson Barrett swinging the bat, runners going, and that ball is fouled off. No, not fouled off.
Nope.
Nope. So
swung at it,
runner
ruled a strike, yep.
On down to second base. So again, Warren ahead on the count here, 0-2.
Interestingly enough, Coach, that was the first. That Roach hit was the first hit of the day for CC.
Yes, yes.
He goes again.
That's popped in the air. Shortstop, Cale McCarty, waving his hand. Camps under and has it for the third out, but the Knights do damage here in the top half of inning number 5 and take a 2-0 lead. They have 2 runs on 1 hit and no Athenian errors.
2 walks. 2 walks come back to just greatly haunt Crawfordsville. Get the quick count. I do have a schedule clear up for us, Coach. It's at Crawfordsville next week is at Webo Tuesday, home to Webo Thursday, and Frankfort is here at home next Saturday.
Okay, you had it right on. Well, we will webcast those 2 home games, and Thursday and Saturday.
Yep.
So we've got some work next week. Either you or I or somebody will be here to do that. We'll promise that.
20 pitches by Warren, giving him 89 now for the day, which will start counting into his days off category. But Crawfordsville, everybody but him, the pitching staff available for Tuesday with Western Boone. That Saunders can go and Kellerman can go and others can go. It's just now a matter of, after throwing 45 Thursday and now 89 today, has Austin Warren has he reached his limit? So wait and see what happens the next time up. Most important thing now, though, Coach, is that Crawfordsville's down by 2 runs. They have 2 hits. Still haven't got anybody past second base.
Past second, no. Well, Jake Decker leads it off for the Athenians here in the bottom half of inning number 5. Takes the first pitch a little bit high.
Decker's the 300 hitter on the season. He'd be the guy to get started.
Next pitch right there. Boy, there's not a lot on that pitch.
Decker lined out to second base, his only other trip up.
His ball fouled off. Kind of got him in on the hands that time. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 6, 7, and 8 due up for the Athenians. Decker, McCarty, and Coons, and we hope many more. Here's a ball that bounces up there, and the count evens at 2-2. Number 27, Jacob Benson. Not allowing anything to cross the plate. Here's a pitch, popped to right field. The ball dropping, but it'll be in the glove. And so 1 out here quickly in the bottom of the 5th.
That had a little more carry, Kynell out there. I thought might get a little duck, what they call a little duck snort, maybe get one out there, but
we could use it.
Not to be.
We could use it. Cale McCarty comes to the plate. Cale flew out to right field his last time at bat, his only time at bat.
He scored twice in the win over Riverside, so he can certainly make it on base, and once he's there, then he's got real decent speed.
Here's a pitch for a strike. Benson not giving us anything cheap, so we're going to have to earn it.
Yep, that's for sure. Got to get used to that lower velocity speed, that's all.
Here's a breaking ball into the dirt. 2 balls, 1 strike.
We don't have much other data. Coach Bourdonnais chooses not to share his stats with anybody. So,
yeah.
leave that at that.
Well, we know they're 7-4. Athenians 7-2. Here's a pitch down. 3 balls and 1 strike. We got to check. We may look at one here, Jeff. We may just look at one.
Well, you need a runner. You need a runner any way, shape, or form. And we haven't had a base hit since the first inning, any old way.
That one's up high. Ball 4. So base runner aboard is Cale McCarty on down to first base.
Coons up next. Coons may have hit the hardest ball that we've had offensively today. He hit one that went right off
the
Vincent's
pitcher,
foot. Yep, that ricocheted back to third base, and then he got thrown out. With that blazing catcher's speed, that Caleb's got. So.
Well, look at the number of guys that have been retired. We haven't had a runner since the first inning, actually.
Right.
And
no errors by CC, and there's been nobody on base since the bunt single and the single.
Caleb takes the first pitch high, throw to first, runner back in time. Get a short rope on that young man down there.
Mm-hmm.
We down by 2 here, can't be drifting off. Throw to first, runner back in plenty of time.
And you don't bunt Caleb here because if you can somehow get him to get on base or move a runner, Martin would be a bunt candidate.
Pitch taken for a strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 on, 1 out.
But it's a 2-0 game.
Sure is. Here's a ball, check swing, probably up out of the zone that Caleb getting around on that a little bit quick. So fouls it out of play, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pitch. Ground ball, shortstop. It's hit softly. On to second for an out. On to first base.
Safe.
Sandy safe. Boy, it was close at first
that was
base.
Very close.
Caleb, young man hadn't got to the point where he runs as well as he will run, and I'm sure next year you'll see the difference in that.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to get a pinch runner for him here with 2 outs now.
If I remember right from this morning, number
Courtesy runner
19
is number 19,
Alex Kellerman.
Alex
Now
Kellerman
batting the
down
left
to first
fielder,
base.
Andrew Martin.
So number 9 hitter, Andrew Martin at the plate, takes first pitch up. Andrew Martin, really kind of a big at bat his last time. We thought maybe he was going to draw a walk, and just didn't quite end up that way.
He struck out on ball 5.
Here's the throw to first, back in plenty of time.
Yeah. He struck out on ball 5. That's about all it was. 2 high strikes his last 2 pitches.
Stretch in, the pitch into the dirt, gets away. Runner will advance on this one. So good job, young Kellerman, picking that up and getting on down. And here comes Coach Ordonez out of the dugout over here.
Not sure. This may be a conference, or this may be just to make sure that everybody knows what to do with a runner on second base. In the earlier game against Griffith, they had a scenario where they had pitcher catcher get crossed up on some signals when a guy got to second. So he may be just out making sure that everybody knows which set of signals that they're going to use, and also with it being a 2-0 game, hey, you got 2 outs, don't do anything crazy. Get this out. If you got to give this guy up to first base, I mean, don't make a throw anything dumb that gets that run.
I am sure maybe one of the very first things come out of his mouth was, "Hey, this is the number 9 hitter.
Yes.
It's your 3rd out.
Yeah.
We don't want to roll it over the top of the batting order here.
Yep.
Just concentrate on this guy right here at the plate."
That's right. Yeah, don't overthink anything. Just get this guy out.
2 balls, no strikes. Here's the pitch. That's right there, strike 1. I tell you, he lays that in there. I mean, it looks good.
Yep.
But we're just not able so far to do any real damage with our bats. 2 balls, 1 strike. Kellerman away from second. He's got plenty of room to move out there. Here's a ball swung on and missed. Not sure, Jeff, that was toward the top of the zone. I don't know whether it was a strike or not. But anyway, Andrew,
he got a good cut at it, but he just didn't put a bat on it.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Throw, no throw. Fake throw to second base. All right, now we're ready to go. Benson to the plate. Swung on, fouled off.
Martin doing a nice job guarding the plate that time.
Yeah.
Just two strikes and 2 outs, and a guy out there. You just anything you can possibly do to get yourself on base right here.
Notice that time, that was a very quick into the glove and out, almost not a real pause. Now this time he takes plenty of time to pause. Swung on, missed on pitch up and away. So out number 3, and the Athenians still scoreless after 5 innings of play. It's your Athenians, no runs on 2 hits and 3 errors. The Central Catholic Knights have 2 runs on 1 hit and no error.
CC has left a runner 4 different times on base, and Crawfordsville has left 3 runners on, 2 in the first and then 1 just now. So run through our pitch count here. 5, 10, 14, 20 pitches. Biggest pitch count of the day for Benson. He's at 64.
Yeah.
So he's still got plenty of margin.
Sure. Well, Austin back out for his 6th inning.
Warren is
of
back.
Work, and,
so
he's throwing well. He kind of gave up a couple of bases on balls, but has thrown very well.
Yeah.
And probably a mistake pitch, as you mentioned, with the 0-2 pitch that gave up the base hit there to put the Knights in the lead. But really, Austin throwing very good baseball. Just you can't expect you're not going to win, period, if you don't score.
You can't depend on perfection. Those are his first 2 walks of the game, and he gave up the first hit by Central Catholic in the ball game. And the perfect combination of that ended up costing him 2 runs. So now the bats behind him have got to do it.
Well, we've got 2 more big at bats. We just need to keep them where they are now.
Yep, and the top of the order is coming up.
Leading off for the Knights, the third baseman, Adam Dienhart.
Dienhart is 0 for 2.
Yeah, struck out and grounded to third his last time.
But he was 3 for 3 in game 1 today.
There's a pitch down and away.
Somebody was warming up, I know, between innings. I would assume Decker has been coming in behind Warren most times this year.
Ground ball through the left side into left field for a base hit. So Dienhart leads it off here in the 6th inning, and successfully so for the Knights as he gets to first base.
Blackburn got to the spot, but the ball did not take nearly the bounce that he thought it was going to. It bounced about a foot below his glove.
So both teams now with 2 base hits. Left-hander
A.J.
Bourdain stands in, and he's struck out twice. That ball got him. So Bourdain will jog on down to first base. They're saying he bunted, and I did see him turn, but I couldn't see the position of the bat, frankly. Maybe that's not what I think it is what they called.
Crawfordsville fans are yelling that he tried to bunt the ball, or that he had maybe it even hit him on the bat. I don't know. It glanced off his bat and hit him in the body.
Don't think we're going to get a reversal.
No, I doubt it.
Don't think we're going to get a reversal.
Coach Froge getting an explanation from home plate umpire Darren Haas, but
don't think he's going to be totally satisfied.
No, he's getting an explanation, but he's not getting any satisfaction. So Bourdain gets hit by a pitch. That is we're talking about all these firsts recently. That's the first hit batter by Warren today. And Bourdain, who had looked at 2 called third strikes, gets a gift base.
The right fielder, Carson Kynell.
Kynell reached on an error and struck out.
Here's a bunt. Well done. We're going to not get there, are we? Yeah, we did. Good job. Carson Scott got there quickly, and good pickup, clean toss to first base. So we do record the out on the sacrifice by Kynell. First out of the inning, and the Knights 2 runners in scoring position now.
That was how Riverside got their only hit
Dakota Skis.
of the first game against Crawfordsville. Was a bunt that went right there, and the guys didn't coordinate and communicate well enough, and that bunt ended up in no man's land. Nobody covered first base. Scott got over there to cover at that time.
Here's a breaking ball for a strike. Good pitch.
This is Dakota Skis. He is 0 for 1. 1 strikeout. He did walk, and he scored the first run of the ball game.
The 0-1. Swung on and missed at a high fastball. So a little of this, a little of that. Now, guess what?
0-2.
Just got to keep the ball where the catcher can keep it in front. Pitch swung on, fouled off, and a low fastball. So high, low, will he come back high again now?
Good question. Skis hits in the 7 spot, 8 and 9 behind him, but that's where some damage got done that last time around the plate.
Swung on. That's going to bring a run, and maybe more. We're over, we're under, and a good job out there by Jake Decker hauling it in for out number 2, but the tag from third brings in the Knights' 3rd run of the ball game. They lead it by a score of 3-0. So
Deanhart comes in to score, and Bourdonnais moves to third base. So there is still, with 2 outs, there's still a danger spot. There's still a guy out there in scoring position. So got to get this batter out. 3 runs are becoming bigger and bigger, considering that there have been no hits put on the board since the first inning.
They're in the dirt. We don't want that. We got Bourdonnais down at third base there. Keep that ball out of the dirt here.
Yep, Du Bois is up. He's 0 for 1, line out, and then did put down a sacrifice bunt in the 5th inning.
Here's one up and away. Well, that last score, it was made because they got a good sacrifice bunt down to move runners to second and third, and then you get a sacrifice fly to bring him in.
Sure. It was kind of small ball, but the hit started it, but then Bourdonnais getting hit by the pitch moved that first runner to second base.
Here's a pitch on the inside corner. 2 balls, 1 strike. 2 down here in the top of inning number 6. Athenians now trailing 3-0. There's a good strike. And the count goes even at 2-2.
Crawfordsville brings the top of the order up in the bottom of the 6th, so it's one last chance for them to produce.
Here's a ground ball. That's toward the middle. Cannot be fielded by McCarty, and I don't know. That's kind of one of those in-betweeners.
Yeah, well, that was one he went to get, and that ball bounced over his glove.
It bounced over him, right?
One bounced under Blackburn's glove, and that one bounced over McCarty's. That's a base hit and an RBI.
Yeah. I'm looking. Is there a hit total? Are they up to?
They have 2 hits.
Well, that would be 3, right?
Oh, correct. 1 in the the Roach hit, and then 2 in this inning, and 4 runs.
Yeah.
The pitcher, Jacob Benson.
And Benson takes ball 1.
Yeah, Jacob Benson struck out his last at bat, flied out his first at bat to left field. So need to set him down here and get to the plate. 2 balls, no strikes now. Warren gets the outside corner. 2-1. Du Bois leading away from first base. Warren 2 plays, swung on and fouled back. Check that one out. That might be flat on one side as it went into the brick wall.
At a pretty high velocity.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. And 2 more in. Runners going, swung on ground to the left side. And Cale has gone to cover the. Now they got to play here. They're going to run at him. He's going to throw to third. We got Blackburn running him down with the tag, and that's out number 3. So a little bit of a base running mistake out there by Du Bois. And that'll go as a fielder's choice for Benson.
Right.
So in the inning for the Knights, they came up with two runs on two hits, and they had one runner left on base. Maybe I don't know.
There was one.
About right. Yeah.
Yep. The hitter was left.
Sure.
And no errors.
Well, you're right. We top the batting order, and I know this first guy up. He's got to be burning to get on base.
Right.
Been a long day at the plate so far for Will Kellerman.
18 pitches, so finishing up the pitch count here for Austin Warren. 18 pitches gives him 107 on the evening, or on the game, I should say.
Well, the job just got twice as hard, Jeff.
Yes.
2-0. You think you got a pretty good shot yet at getting back with a couple, but 4, it's going to take a little more energy to pull that one off.
Yep. Well, and it's going to have to take something because the Athenians have not gotten a single base hit since two guys got on. Carson Scott got a bunt single in the first, and Austin Warren singled up the middle to put two men on in that first inning of play. They have not had a 1B, 2B, 3B. Since that they got they did not have a base runner in the second, third, or fourth inning at all, going down in order. And in the last inning, they finally picked up a walk as McCarty drew a base on balls, but that's as far as it got because a fielder's choice and a strikeout ended the threat.
And Will takes the first pitch up,
but
Coach Froge a lot of times will take a few pitches, but this young man just isn't giving you anything much. There's a ball though, 2-0.
Yep.
I think he's had one walk. Am I right?
One, yeah. That was the walk last inning to McCarty.
Yeah.
He's got 2, 3, 4 strikeouts, but he's had good.
Well, we're looking all the way on that, and that's a called strike, and fans don't like that. It appeared to be a little bit outside and low. Definitely didn't look like a strike, but what's on the board is what we got to play. There's ground ball. Good job that time by Benson, that reaches out and snares the ball to his left for out number 1. So Will really wearing the collar today.
That one easily could have been a hit up the middle. That Benson just got his glove right where the ball was. There's nothing more than that. He was set and ready to make a play. I mean, that was give him credit for doing all the right things, but as hard and as fast that ball came back at him, well, he just lucky to have his glove right there.
It's for a strike. Carson taking that one all the way. Here's a pitch just a little bit outside.
Yep.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 down. Carson Scott with one of her 2 base hits in this ball game.
Yep, bunt single.
This one's off the plate. 2-1.
The Athenians had scored 64 runs in their previous 6 games. Would give up anything to bring 4 of those from a lot of different spots.
Here's
right
a pitch. That's ball 3.
This is up and out.
Boy, not much on that pitch either. It looks really hittable, but again, we've squared up very little. Here's a 3-1. Carson takes it right down the middle, but he was taken all the way on that one.
Fills the count out at 3-2.
Athenians needing a base runner. Here's a pitch. Swung on, popped to the left side. Ball into the left center field area and caught by the left fielder.
Long run for Daniel Roach, who was the hero with a base hit offensively. He comes up with a diving catch just out there right now.
Yeah, he did a good job to get to the ball first, and then secondly to hit the ground and still hold on to the ball. So
took a thumping out there.
Really
held on.
Good job there.
Yep. So that puts two outs on the board very quickly, and that brings up Josh Blackburn. 0 for 2, called strikeout, ground out. Ball in the dirt, pitch, ball 1. Crawfordsville not down to their last at bat, obviously, because it's only the 6th inning. But you just kind of get that little more desperation.
Definitely
feel.
Getting late.
Yeah, and you run through the top of the order, and so you just say the guys that normally he takes a called strike. Normally those guys that you always depend on to get 1 or 2 of them on and get a hit, get something started, and the bottom of the order, picks them up and adds to it.
Yeah.
And so
we're. Here's a pitch taken down. If we don't get on here, we're still in a pretty good spot in our batting order, but to go to the 7th inning. But Well, two-out rallies are beautiful things.
They sure are.
Here's a pitch, taken foul, and the count goes even at 2-2.
But that's what has been the operational of this whole game. Just making some contact. The best hits are all going foul, and Benson just kept everybody off balance.
There's a ball fouled to the right side. First baseman over and under, and has it for out number 3.
No runs, no hits.
Yep, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on, and we go to inning number 7, and your Athenians trail it by a score of 4-0. It's 4-4-0 for the Central Catholic Knights. Your Athenians, no runs, 2 hits, and 3 errors.
And only 15 pitches needed by Benson in that 6th inning appearance to go 3 up, 3 down for Crawfordsville. 79 pitches on the evening, so he has more than enough gas left in his tank to pitch in the 7th inning.
Yeah.
And Crawfordsville has had to go to the they've had to go to the
Jake
bench.
Decker on, Jake, as you mentioned earlier, he's kind of been in that particular role. He followed Warren Thursday at Tri-West and in here to ask to pitch the 7th inning in this ball game.
The line on Warren we'll get here in a minute. 6 innings pitched, 107 pitches. He gave up all 4 of those hits. He is tagged with the 4 runs. And all 4 runs are earned. Ironically,
our 3 hours didn't really cost us anything.
Didn't matter, yep.
But
he walked 2 guys that scored in the 5th, and he walked. He did not walk anybody, so he only those 2. That really stings. 2 walks in a ball game, and they both score on you. So, and he had 2 strikeouts an inning. He had 2 in the 1st, 2 in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th to give him 8. He got 1 more in the 5th to give him 9. So he finished with 2 walks and 9 Ks.
Number 6, Jake Decker. Number 24, Cam Saunders has
one
right field. Number 20, Josh Blackburn, is in center field.
Decker making his 6th appearance, 5th in relief, 10 innings pitched totally. He has been tagged with 1 loss. He does have a save, 1-for-1 save opportunities, 16 hits allowed, 10 runs, 7 earned. So not a big ERA.
Well, his ERA it got jumped up a little bit down in Tennessee, as I recall.
Right, yep, bunch of runs there, and then 4 walks and 15 strikeouts. So he's got a nearly 4-to-1 strikeout ratio. So back to what we said before, Crawfordsville has had a decent day on the mound and decent day defensively. But boy, when you haven't had a hit since the 1st inning, it makes it tough.
Well, swung on the foul back by the leadoff hitter for Central Catholic. It's Scott Lowell. He's a left fielder, left-handed hitter.
He was awarded 1 of those 2 walks in the 5th inning and scored the 2nd run on that Daniel Roach base hit.
There's a ball taken in the air. We're circling around out there, but well handled out there by our new right fielder out there.
That's Cam. So I think Saunders moved to center. Warren moves back to 3rd. Blackburn will move out to center. Right. And Martin stays in left. Yeah. The rest of the infield is still pat.
Our rotations defensively have been pretty predictable.
There we go.
Kind of everybody knows where everybody goes when you make a change.
Sure. Well, with your starting catcher out, and your numbers limited, that's about as far as it's going to go. Strike 1 on Roach. Roach reached twice on errors. He got on first on an error in the 1st, got on first on an error in the 3rd, but was stranded both times. But he came up with the gigantic, which is right now the game-winning single. He stroked 1 to left field that scored the first 2 runs of the ball game, and that came in the 5th inning.
That was a good breaking ball on the inside part of the plate.
Count runs to 1-2 on Roach.
There's a foul ball past 3rd base. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Daniel Roach, the center fielder, hitting in the number 2 slot. Decker delivers a fastball in the outside corner. I think he was guessing that time, Jeff.
Mm-hmm. And he guessed wrong.
He indeed did.
Yep. So he strikes out for the first time. That is 10 strikeouts now for Crawfordsville pitchers after a 13 strikeout performance by Saunders and McCarty in game 1.
Here's a pitch inside.
This is Carson Barrett. 0 for 3 on the day. Fly out, strikeout, pop out. He gets way ahead of one, yanks it foul. Evens a count at 1-1.
Yeah, quite a difference in the offensive situation here. I mean, 4 hits, obviously not a whole lot, but they took advantage of the walks and made it into 4 runs.
Not gigantically effective.
But look how many times they've struck out, and I believe we've only struck out 4 times in this ball game. We've put it in play more, but have had less effectiveness doing so.
And needing just a couple hits in a row. I mean, that makes a big difference.
Oh, absolutely.
So, yeah, that hasn't happened at all.
So 2 down here, 1 ball, 2 strike count, swung on and fouled back to the screen by the number 3 hitter. That's Barrett, Carson Barrett, 0 for 3 on the day.
The Athenians will go 4, 5, and 6 in the batting order coming up in the 7th inning. Warren, Saunders, and Decker. And boy, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, that's
good
offense potential.
Like that chance.
Here's a pitch up and away. 2-2 now. Decker delivers. Fly ball deep into right center field. That will not be caught. Against the fence out there, we're going to bring it in. It'll be a stand-up double. So the big left-hander got a piece of that one. And Barrett ends up coasting into second base for hit number 5 for the Knights.
Dean Hart up next, singled and scored in the 6th inning. That is a harmless double if you can get this next out.
Needs to be. We've got a big enough mountain to climb now.
Well, I think I sat in this very seat, may have been with you, Coach, about a year ago, the first game of the season against West Lafayette on a cold, brutally nasty night. And I think the Athenians scored like 7 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning to beat Westside. So, yeah, nothing's impossible in baseball.
Yeah, the clock's not going to stop it anyway.
No.
Here's a ground ball to third. Warren has it in hand now after bobbling. And a great throw. There's where that big arm comes up. He put it on a line and threw him out. So that'll end inning number 7 for the Catholic Knights. But Athenians now with a big job in front of them here, trying to come up with at least 4 to keep this game moving. We, as you mentioned, have the middle of our order coming up with some pretty good offensive players. So we're not gonna give up on things just yet.
Nope. Warren has one of the 2 Crawfordsville hits that came in the 1st inning. He hit the ball hard, ball that was handled by the first baseman. Saunders had a home run earlier today, the first home run of the season for the Athenians, and his second career home run was a 3-run shot that went 375, 380 feet straight out of center field. So, a couple guys on, and all of a sudden things can happen.
Absolutely. It's just one of those, it's almost like a psychological thing. When you put some runners on base, it changes the feeling out there when you're on defense. A little bit of pressure out there, and mistakes come quicker when there's pressure put on people.
Well, and as we talked about at the very start of the broadcast and the start of the ball game, the one thing that Coach Bourdonnais has been the least satisfied with his early CC Knights has been some of their defensive play. So you get a guy on base, and all of a sudden something happens. You get a little momentum. Next thing you know, somebody makes one bad throw. You get somebody else on. 4 runs is not that much to score. You just got to get the first hit, and that's one thing that Crawfordsville has not had much of.
That's for sure.
No base hits since the 2nd inning, and that will get you nowhere fast.
Leading off for your Athenians.
Well, we got to give this young man Benson a lot of credit. He limited the Athenians to only 2 hits, as we said in their first inning. And I'll tell you what, I know guys sitting in the dugout looking at that and say, man, we ought to be hitting this guy. Here's a pitch for a strike because his velocity is just not going to
Can't
allow
be-
you. And,
can't
you
be
know,
much- can't be
like I
much
said,
more than the high 60s.
we're putting the ball in play. We just don't square the ball up.
Yep, not hitting it hard.
First pitch for a strike. Here's the next pitch down low. Count evens at 1 ball, 1 strike.
Warren's a .214 hitter. Couple of long balls, a double on the season.
Here's a pitch grounded to third. Takes a short hop. Here's a throw to first base and the dugout for the out. Very close play, but a good call down there by Mark Maxwell. It
5 to 6 to 3.
was indeed there in time. So give Bourdonnais credit for making a really good play there.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed,
The
and
right
that's
fielder,
part of what it's been too tonight.
Sawyer.
You know, there've been a couple of good defensive plays. Center fielder, you know, laid out after a long run, pulled down a big hit that could have easily gone to the fence for a double or a triple, and that brings
Here's a
up
check
Saunders.
swing.
He held up. Cam took a called third strike, popped out in the first.
Next pitch inside ball. 2 balls, no strikes. Probably taking automatically on this.
That's the second off a guy to another guy to an out on the infield. Ball up.
Ball's up. Yeah.
Coons had a hard hit ball in the second inning that
Yes.
went off Benson's foot. Kick, you know, ricocheted over to the third baseman who threw Coons out.
Yes, they say it's the way the ball bounces sometimes. Here's a pitch taken for a strike on the 3-0. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Cam looking to get on anyway. Here's a pitch taken for a strike 2. Athenian fans don't like that call again, but I don't know. That maybe was in the zone.
Yeah, it's
Close.
awfully close. Too close to probably too
3-2.
close to take.
Grounded right side. Second baseman over. On to first base. Out number 2. So Athenians down to the last bullet here.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And fans will argue, that ball. They say, well, that should have been ball 4 on Cam, and it is only one pitch. What it does do to young hitters is that they say, well, you know what, if the strike zone's going to be that wide, that last pitch may not have been, may have been a pitch that he would have taken. He says, well, you know what, he called a strike on the last one, so you start swinging at other stuff.
And when you got 2 strikes on you, you
got to protect.
You got to protect. So
Jake Decker's the last hope. He's 0 for 2, but he's a 300 hitter.
Bunt.
That's going to stay
very
fair.
good. He is on.
Yep.
Bunt hit by Jake Decker. Beautiful bunt. Stopped really just almost on that chalk line.
Not mowing yesterday afternoon turned out to be very good on that decision. That's nice and thick in the April growth.
Well, we're not breathing real strongly here, but we're still alive.
There's still a chance.
That'll bring up Cale McCarty.
He walked his last time up.
Pitch outside, ball 1.
So the bottom of the order has got to do it.
Next pitch outside, gets away from the catcher, so we'll stroll on down to second base, which could be an advantage, at least take away a force out at second base.
Force.
And here comes Coach out to the mound. I'm not so sure, but what he's maybe going to go ahead and make a change.
Well, this would be exactly where he was at in the Griffith game. He was the last inning. He brought his son in to get the last 2 outs. Now there are 2 outs here.
Like he's holding on to the situation right now.
Yeah. Now this is his. I think this is his last conference. So
yeah,
he's
got a pretty good margin here.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to feel pretty confident that you can get 1 out before you give up 4 runs.
Right. And a lot of things got to happen. I mean, if there were 3 guys on base, your strategy is a whole lot different. But there's a solo guy at second base,
and we're in the bottom of order.
Yeah, and pitching the number 7 guy. Same as you said before. Get this guy out. That's all you got to tell him.
Here's a pitch right there for a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. Cale still looking for something that's got to be pretty good because he would just as soon have the walk, and there's ball 3. and he was taking all the way as he squared the bunt, but he was never going to bunt that time.
No.
3 balls, 1 strike. Runner at second base.
If he can stay alive or when we get to first base, Caleb Coons on deck.
Squares and takes ball 4. Oh, my goodness, we're stealing third because the third baseman was way in there.
That was just smart running on Jake Decker's part. He had real gutsy. I don't know
I'm going to say, I don't think Coach Frodes really called that play, but, he had no challenge there at third base. So
Dean Hart had moved way ahead up on the grass. You probably saw that on your screen. And, he just kind of stood up, didn't notice it. Decker took advantage of nobody paying attention, and now Caleb Coons, time to shine.
Here's a pitch for a strike. No balls, 1 strike. Athenians with runners at first and third. 2 down here in the bottom of the 7th inning. They're needing 4 spot to tie it up. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed on a breaking ball. Came in right under his hand. So Caleb, we're down once again to our last bullet here, Jeff.
Literally down to the last out, or last strike this time. So, but a base hit, a little wank or something, it's all it takes.
All right, young sophomore catcher for the Athenians, trying to keep things alive here. Benson, the stretch, the pitch. Here's a shot, left fielder over and has it. One of the hardest hits of the ball game for the Athenians, but into the glove out there in left field, and that'll end it with the Athenians going down to Central Catholic by a score of 4-0.
To the Central Catholic Knights.
So the Knights take the championship here.
Did they win it last year? Yeah, so they're back to back.
That's what I mentioned earlier, the rematch, and
Although they beat Carmel last year, I think, in the championship game, right?
Yeah, right on. They good baseball program up there. And
they got a bunch of state championship trophies to show for it.
And again, as we mentioned in the one poll, they are ranked number 1 in their division. They go to 8-4 on the season now. Your Athenians go to 7-3, and we'll resume action next Tuesday, and that will be at Western Boone. So back into conference play, and as we mentioned, Western Boone with a real good starting pitcher over there. So Athenians will have to try to liven up the bats as they collect only 3 hits in this ball game. Of course, the Knights with only 5 hits, so good pitching on both sides, but this time the Athenians come out on the short end.
Just could not manufacture enough hits. That's what it came down to, Coach. Too many chances squandered at the plate, and give a lot of credit. Give a lot of credit to Jacob Benson. I'm sure Coach Bourdonnais, if we would have him sitting here for a minute, would say it probably is the best game that young man has pitched this season.
Well, I'll tell you, as a coach and as a player, I remember so many times we look at the opposing pitcher, you start a ball game, say, man, we'll kill this guy. And then you get into the ball game and you say, well,
never hit one hard off him.
We're not touching this guy, and Athenians found that to be the case today. So, but good baseball today. Athenians can't feel too bad about their performance here, and they're off to a really good season. 7-3 is nothing to cry about, and 2-0 in the conference is something to feel real good about.
Yep.
So,
if you and I had sat down with 10 fans and 2 coaches a month ago and said we're going to be 7-3 after the first 10 games, I don't think anybody would have complained a bit.
Probably not. Probably not.
Yep. Yeah. It stings now, and it's always disappointing to lose to a good team. Tough to lose on your home field, but at the end of the day, this is still a good baseball team.
Well, and I like our chances in conference play this year. We talked earlier today, so I'm not going to carry on with that again. But it appears maybe the conference will not be quite as strong as it was last year overall. and our pitching is good.
Yep.
Our pitching is just at the, I know it's as good as anybody in the conference, if not better.
Okay.
And so I feel like this team, and one of the questions at the start of the year was, where's the offense going to be? And frankly, you mentioned how many runs we've scored and has done pretty well overall. Today, pitching in game one probably wasn't that strong, and we looked pretty decent at the plate. This game, we just didn't score up very many balls, only 3 hits on the game, and that's probably not going to win you a lot of ball games when you only get 3 base hits.
No. Heavens no. Central Catholic took advantage of a couple of opportunities. We barely got the opportunity. That's what it boiled down to. Not like Crawfordsville played poorly tonight. Yeah. It was just there were just so few opportunities to get anything.
Yeah, we just really didn't put much pressure on their defense. But they made good plays. We mentioned that. Well, Jeff, what do you got? In the way of any statistical summaries there?
Central Catholic 4 runs, 5 hits. Crawfordsville 3 errors. CC left 6 guys on base. Their 4 runs were spread out between 4 guys, and they took advantage of things. Austin Warren went 6 innings, threw 107 pitches, gave up only 4 hits, but he was tagged for 4 runs. He only walked 2 guys. Both of those guys scored. The first hit of the ball game drove in 2 runs. So it was just a lot of little things that just all added up to the 4 runs, and Crawfordsville's offense was not able to come up with any other way. So Jacob Benson, didn't overpower anybody, but he didn't. But nobody scored any runs. Crawfordsville got 2 runs and 2 hits in the first inning and a single hit in the 7th inning, and nothing in between. Practically no base runners in between. Benson only walked a couple of guys, struck out about 4. Hats off to him. He came up with his best opportunity. The Athenians 3 errors didn't cost him. But at the end of the day, not enough hits cost him 2.
Yep. Well, that about rounds it up, and this is Dan Welver saying thanks to Justin Duggar for keeping that picture on there, and certainly to Jeff Nelson for his great. I tell you, Jeff, I really appreciate my voice doing 2 games in one day. I would have hated to have to say any more, but Jeff giving us all this.
Yeah.
I tell you, I sat down there with the coaches, and they were, they were not impressed.